The sun poured like molten gold down the glass walls of Levington Tower, the kind of skyscraper that didn't just rise into the clouds, but seemed to command them to move aside. Inside, marble floors glowed like frozen light, and every reflection whispered wealth, power, untouchable prestige. It was the headquarters of Ethan Levington, a billionaire who had learned early in life that money didn't just open doors. It owned the building, the street, the city block. People didn't say no to him. They barely said anything at all, unless it was yes, sir. And in this palace of glass and ego worked a man almost invisible, Marcus Reed, a tall, quiet black janitor with hands that looked like they had worked all their life and eyes that held something deeper than weariness. He moved through the building like a ghost with a mop, a bucket, and a faded name tag no one ever really read. Marcus didn't complain, didn't argue, didn't force himself into conversations. He swept, he polished, he fixed what broke. But every day when he walked past the gleaming grand piano in the lobby, a dramatic, $1 million Steinway meant to impress clients, he paused for one single second, like a man nodding to an old friend he was forbidden to speak to. And every day, Ethan saw it. It started as curiosity. Why did the janitor always slow down near the piano? But curiosity turned into smug amusement. In Ethan's world, roles were fixed. Billionaire, executive, assistant, janitor. You didn't swap lanes, and you definitely didn't pretend to be something else. So one Friday evening, when the building buzzed with board members and luxury-clad investors attending a charity gala, a gala supposedly for music scholarships, irony dripping from every champagne glass, Ethan spotted Marcus quietly wiping down the railing, trying to stay out of the way. Something inside Ethan, equal parts boredom and arrogance, nudged him. He strode over, smile sharp as crystal. "Hey," he said loud enough for people to hear, "you always eye that piano like you know what it is." Heads turned. Conversations paused. Marcus froze, cloth in hand. He hated attention. It came with judgment. "Sir, I was just cleaning," he murmured, already preparing an apology he didn't owe. But Ethan wasn't done. No, he continued, grin widening. "Tell you what, play something. Play like Mozart. And if you do, I'll marry you." The crowd laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was safe. Rich people laughter, smooth and cold. Someone whispered, "He's joking, right?" Another added, "I didn't know janitors could read music." Marcus stood still, the words hanging in the air like smoke. He didn't blush. He didn't smile. He simply looked at the piano, then at Ethan, with a gaze so calm it unsettled those watching. "No disrespect," Marcus said softly, "but people shouldn't be mocked for what they love." Ethan shrugged theatrically. "So prove me wrong." The moment stretched. And then, as if pulled by gravity stronger than embarrassment, Marcus walked to the piano, sat down, rested his hands on the keys, and the world fell away. The first note was not just music. It was pain and hope woven into sound. The keys didn't clatter awkwardly. They didn't hesitate. They sang. Marcus didn't simply play Mozart. He resurrected him. The lobby, filled seconds earlier with laughter and chatter, went silent so deeply that you could hear hearts remembering how to beat. His fingers moved with the assurance of a man who had not merely practiced, but lived inside music. Every rise and fall of the melody felt like waves carving the shore of the soul. Some people closed their eyes. Others stared in disbelief. A woman in diamonds pressed a hand to her chest. Ethan stood rooted, the joke collapsing into a weight he didn't know how to carry. Because in that instant, Marcus wasn't the janitor. He wasn't the invisible man. He was the center of gravity. And whatever story anyone thought they knew about him was shattered and rearranged like glass under thunder. When the last note faded, there was no applause at first, just stunned silence. Then the building erupted. People clapped like they wanted to hold on to the sound. Someone shouted, "Encore!" Another whispered, "How?" But Marcus simply stood, nodded once, and started to return to his mop. Ethan caught his arm, not cruelly this time, but desperately. "Where did you learn that?" he demanded, voice stripped of confidence. Marcus hesitated. He didn't owe him the truth, but he offered it anyway. "Church basement," he said quietly. "Old piano. My mama cleaned the place. I practiced after hours. Sometimes, music was the only thing that listened back." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Admiration, guilt, curiosity. Ethan felt something new. Shame. For the first time, the billionaire saw the janitor not as part of the building, but as a person whose story did what men like him often do when confronted with their cruelty. He tried to rewrite the narrative in his favor. "You should perform," he said, already calculating headlines. "We could make a deal. Publicity. Opportunity. Marcus simply replied, I don't want to be someone's project. I just wanted to play. The next morning, the video, because of course someone had filmed it, exploded online. Janitor plays like Mozart. Hidden genius humbles billionaire. Within hours, news vans surrounded the building. Talk shows called. Record labels emailed. Strangers debated his life without ever speaking to him. Ethan's PR team urged him to spin it. Sponsor Marcus, create a foundation, look benevolent. But Marcus disappeared for 3 days. No shift, no trace, just absence, echoing in the halls like unfinished music. When he finally returned, Ethan was waiting. Not with cameras, not with a crowd, just a man alone in a lobby that suddenly felt too big. Why did you leave? Ethan asked. Marcus sighed. Because attention burns, and I've been burned before. And then the twist unraveled. Marcus had once been a prodigy, discovered young, praised early, pushed hard. He'd been accepted into a prestigious conservatory on scholarship. But when his mother got sick and bills mounted, music didn't pay. Janitorial work did. When she passed, grief cut the strings that tied him to the piano. He walked away from auditions, from applause, from a future that looked golden but felt empty. Cleaning floors was honest, predictable, safe, but the music never left. It simply waited. Ethan listened, the sharp angles of his ego softening. For the first time, he apologized, not as a performance, but as a confession. I mocked you because I don't understand things I can't control, he admitted, and I'm sorry. Marcus studied him, not impressed, not hostile, just weighing truth. Then change, he said, not your brand, your heart. In the weeks that followed, something extraordinary happened. Not a fairy tale, not instant redemption, something harder, slower, real. Ethan funded music programs in underserved schools, quietly, without press releases. He hired teachers, bought instruments. He attended lessons, sitting awkwardly in tiny chairs, listening to kids play their first trembling notes. And Marcus? He agreed to teach, not because he wanted fame, but because he saw versions of himself in every nervous student. He swept floors by day and taught music by evening, a life stitched together from humility and grace. As for the ridiculous vow, play this piano, I'll marry you, it returned one quiet night when the building was empty, except for the two of them. Ethan, now a man trying daily to be less of who he once was, said softly, I know I said that as a joke, but the truth is, you changed me, not with the music, with your dignity. I don't expect anything, but I needed you to know that. Marcus smiled, a small, tired, beautiful smile. Then let's just be people, he replied. No billionaire, no janitor, just people trying not to hurt each other. And in that high tower of glass and pride, something human took root. Not a wedding, not a scandal, but respect. And the music that stayed forever.